Back at it here at Shamrock Fighting Championships. It is Derik Scott taking on Trevor Johnson.
Let's bring out our next bout of the evening, Derik Scott.
Making his way to the cage tonight from St. Louis, Missouri, it is Derik the Law Scott. Now, Derik is a legal attorney who found his way to fighting. He is also a world champion gymnast, a trampoline artist, and an All-American diver. This kid is literally an athlete's athlete.
Yeah, Derik Scott is as athletic as it comes, and he has done a lot of work in the MMA world to transfer that athleticism over to his MMA fighting career.
Let's bring out his opponent this evening, Trevor Johnson.
Coming to the cage tonight, it is Trevor Johnson. He makes his way from the Dragon's Lair. Now, he is coming off a big win via guillotine in only 30 seconds in his last fight. This camp, he went and worked his boxing end of things, doing 2 days of BJJ and boxing every day. As we go to our tail of the tape, both of these fighters very, very evenly matched. Of course, Derik Scott is definitely the more athletic of the two.
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight, fighting out of the blue corner this evening, he stands 5 feet 9 inches tall. He weighs in at 155.6 pounds. Fighting out of St. Louis, Missouri, Derik Scott. His opponent tonight, fighting from across the cage out of the red corner this evening. He stands 5 feet 9 inches tall. He weighs in at 155.2 pounds. Fighting out of Cameron, Missouri, Trevor Johnson.
Referee Mark Wassam has the call for this contest.
And here we go, quick touch of the gloves. Scott with his hands out wide, switching stances, but his chin is reasonably high.
A lot of movement here coming out of Scott. Big hand, Scott looking for the double leg, big slam takedown.
Right in the side control. Good job by Johnson to immediately get back to half guard. Holding on to that guillotine from half guard again. Not going to be easy to finish it from half guard.
Especially someone with the strength of Scott. This is an incredibly tough position to finish anybody in.
Yeah, Scott's just going to relax on top and slowly work his head out. Let Johnson kind of burn out his arms.
Scott is free, still in that half guard position. But some people are fine to sit here and take this and then start to land the ground and pound.
Yeah, personally, I prefer to be in half guard position. He can't give up the underhook, though. The fight in the half guard position is for the underhook.
Good work here from Johnson to try to get back to full guard, looking at that butterfly position, trying to make his way to full at the moment.
Yeah, Johnson's got a good active guard, defending well, not letting Scott pass into a very dominant position thus far.
Big hammer fist coming from Scott.
Right here, Scott could posture up and start landing some punches.
Again, a lot of good work here from half guard. Scott doing a good job of maintaining control. It looks like Johnson's trying to work a Kimura, though, there on that left side.
Yeah, he can work this Kimura into a sweep or a submission.
Under 1 minute remaining here in the first round.
Yeah, Johnson has done a pretty good job thus far of minimizing the damage, but he's still losing the round.
Yeah, Johnson has had a very decent guard here as we're down to 40 seconds remaining here in round one. Big hands coming from Scott.
And a nice pass in the side control.
30 seconds remaining here in the first round.
Again, good job by Johnson getting right back to half guard. He's going to want to use this position to get up.
A lot of nice little shots there coming from Scott. 15 seconds remaining here in the round. Oh, looking for an armbar from Johnson. Nice pull out from Scott.
And he lands a big shot on his way back down.
Again, the sheer strength of Derik Scott pulled that armbar away. Oh, huge hammer fist.
Great job, great aggressiveness from Scott. And one thing about Derik Scott is he is in phenomenal condition. He can do that all 3 rounds and still have plenty of energy for a backflip after the fight is over.
Speaking of which, literally Derik Scott and his brothers, they hold a record for the most backflips. I mean, a Guinness World Record. The entire family are athletic. As you see in the corner is our former welterweight champion, Sean Scott, his brother.
You know, one thing, Derik dominated that round, obviously. Johnson did a good job of minimizing the damage, but Scott didn't look great entering into that takedown. So Johnson obviously knows the game plan now. Scott's gonna try for the takedown. Scott needs to be a little better entering into that takedown with his strikes rather than just rushing in.
Here is where cardio comes into play. Trevor throwing for a
big uppercut from Scott. Johnson being a little bit wild pursuing with those punches.
But Derik has those hands down. That's not a position he wants to be in. Oh, huge ones from Scott.
Yeah, the speed and athleticism is definitely in the favor of Scott.
Scott almost toying with him there. Again, another big pickup coming down.
That was a much better job of getting an easy takedown, letting the over-aggressiveness of Johnson run him right into a takedown. Johnson fishing for another Kimura. Scott defending well. Scott is allowed to grab his own trunks at this point to defend this Kimura.
Scott trying to lay on his own hand, grab his own shorts, trying to soften up the body. Trevor, though, is pulling with all of his might here. Again, big shots to the body. Trevor had no choice but to move out of that position. Now Scott is smothering here in this area, trying to grab onto that head.
Yeah, Scott doing a good job of keeping Johnson flat on his back at this point. From the half guard position, there's nothing offensive the guy on bottom can do from flat on his back. You have to be on your side. As long as Derik Scott can keep Johnson on his side, he can rain away with punches.
Scott is doing a great job here of just maintaining this grinding position and doing the damage needed here to score the points.
Yeah, Derik Scott is staying active. No way the ref's going to stand him up. Staying active, he's working on passing guard. He's landing short strikes. He's being very patient. Excellent job from Derik Scott thus far.
He's done a great job here of defending the very active guard of Trevor Johnson.
Now it looks like Scott's trying to go knee on belly into mount.
Oh, big hands coming.
Now Johnson gives up his back. Great scrambling out of Derik Scott.
This is where the athleticism and cardio conditioning come into play.
Well, and obviously the training, because Derik Scott is a half a step ahead every time Johnson tries to scramble. Scott's a half a step ahead. So it's not just his athleticism and cardio. He's been training his wrestling very well.
Derik Scott is one of those fighters who does just look better every time that they come out. He's always working on something new, and it is definitely showing her. Two-handed hammer fists.
Good job by Scott to close out the round with some vicious ground and pound.
Gentlemen, sign up for your chance to win tickets to the next Shamrock.
Big shots there coming to finish the round. Again, another very commanding round for Derik Scott.
Yeah, I think it's 2 rounds in the book for Derik Scott pretty easily. You know, I think Scott needs to be smart this third round. I think Johnson's going to come out like a ball of fire throwing wide punches. He should run himself right into a takedown like he did at the end of the last round. And transversely, Johnson doesn't want to do that. He wants to throw straight punches, not over pursue, and keep the fight standing.
As we see here in our instant replay, it again is just all ground and pound coming out of Derik Scott. Third and final round. Quick touch of the gloves. Scott again immediately pushing the pace here on Trevor Johnson. Nice kick to the body there coming from Scott.
Johnson being a lot more patient so far in this round. The problem with that is he only has 3 minutes to finish this fight. So he needs to find a way to land the strikes but not be over aggressive, just like that.
Big takedown there coming from Scott.
Excellent job by Scott. Just waited for Johnson to be over aggressive. Johnson ran himself. All Scott did was change levels, and Johnson ran himself right into an easy takedown for Scott. You know, at this position, Scott could really sit here the whole rest of the fight and start banging out punches, keep the fight right here.
Derik Scott is dropping bombs.
You know, Scott's been aggressive this whole fight. Like I just said, he could sit in this position, try and ride it out, but he's working, trying to pass guard, trying to finish this fight with strikes.
Yeah, he is continually working his, just the sheer technique here of working the side control ground and pound.
Yeah, looks like he's trying to pass in the side control right now.
Minute and a half down, minute and a half to go here in the third and final round.
Looks like he's trying to work some sort of awkward choke right there. Trevor Johnson's fans cheering him on, but there's not a lot he can do from this position. He's been in this position the whole fight, hasn't been able to create any offense so far.
Good pressure here coming from Scott in the final minute of the third and final round. Derik Scott looks up at the clock here.
Big left hands from Derik Scott. You know, with about 20 seconds left is when Derik Scott really starts to pour it on at the end of the round.
Here it is. Derik Scott is not looking just to squeak it out. He wants to make a statement with the finish. Again, throwing those legs away.
Watch the
looking for an armbar attempt. Nice shakeout. Oh, nice. Holds it off. Ten seconds remaining here in the contest.
Yeah, Derik Scott, about 30 seconds ago, narrowly missed disqualifying himself in this fight, kicking the ground of the opponent in the head. He pulled it just in time.
What a fight there coming out of Derik Scott, moving into Trevor Johnson's lair and taking a big win.
And as we saw the backflip already from Derik Scott, like I said, this guy has cardio for days. He can keep that vigorous pace all 3 rounds and then still do a backflip after the fight's over.
Looks like Derik Scott is calling for the lightweight belt.
You know, I think he's earned it. He's been phenomenal in the Shamrock FC cage thus far.
Moving to 8-1 here with this win. If he takes it, let's go to the judges.
Ladies and gentlemen, going to the scorecards this evening. Your winner by unanimous decision out of the blue corner this evening, Derik Scott!
Derik Scott taking the win. Again, let's see, are both the brothers gonna do it? Definitely some very athletic family members there.
You know, Jeremy, Sean and Derik promised me they would show me how to do a backflip. I'm still waiting.
You know, I would pay good money to see that happen. What a win here for Derik Scott, calling for the title. I tell you, we got more to come, but that was some serious action right here at Shamrock Fighting Championships.